How long you think it was gonna take before we got here? Now you gotta prove yourself all over again. Come on.
Ain't nobody coming, I've been gunning from 100 yards, trying to hit my mark, missing every time. This will be the start of the picture perfect. Watch you.
Welcome to Money Monday, Mr. Charles. You've been a regular around here lately.
Yeah, well, you just got to keep a beautiful face like me and just keep it going.
That's exactly
advantage
what
of
it
it.
is. It's all face, Charles.
That's right.
Unquestionably, because anything below that, yeah.
Well, it's my charming personality.
Yes, you're strapping. Anyway, Saturday, we missed our pick 4, and I'm stinging from that horse racing contest that we talked about. I finished, I think, 10th out of like 2,800, something like that. And I didn't play rattle and roll because I played odds instead, even though I thought that was my best pick of the day. Had I played rattle and roll, I would have qualified. I would have finished 3rd out of 3,000 and been on my way to Las Vegas. And man, I was playing some golf with my son at that time, and really such desde Venezuela. Hello, Venezuela. How are you today? But man, just absolutely kicking myself after that, Charles.
Well, I mean, it happens, and you'll get them another day. That's how I see it.
Well, yeah, like the Chicago Cubs, I might make it in 108 years, right? Something like that.
I don't give a shit. I think we all can make it. I think we can make it.
No, I mean, I've come close so many times just to fall short at the very end like that. And even in the last race, if the 9 horse had won, it finished second. It's a nice lane opened up on the inside for that last race at Aqueduct for the 1 to get through. If that would have been a little bit tighter, the 9 might have had an opportunity to win, and then I would have still gone. So, I mean, a couple of things that just didn't go right. It just kind of, it stings, Charles. It stings.
So close, but yet so far away.
Indeed. Well, not too far away tonight. Sean will be back with Jamie for Horse Center at 8 p.m. Tonight's guest is trainer Tony Wilson. He has about 250 career wins. Tune in tonight at 8 p.m. Talk with Jamie and Sean and Tony. Should be another fantastic show. The best way to make sure that you don't miss that is to hit the subscribe button. Follow us on all of our social sites. Hit the likes and all that kind of good stuff. You all know the routine by now for the social media stuff. You can see it down there below. All right, Charles. I almost called you Terry because it's Monday. You ready to try our luck at Parx today? See if indeed we don't miss out in the last race from a big payout?
Yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll.
Fast track today. Surprisingly, a lot of scratches, and a lot of those scratches, Charles, I think impacted my picks a lot. How about you?
Wow. I mean, there was a lot. Yeah. I was starting to get tired of the scratches. In fact, into my picks there. So I had to redo all my everything. I had to reanalyze everything.
Yeah, I had the same problem. A lot of my top 1 or 2 picks were knocked out. Anyway, we'll go and see what we got now. Race 1 is 1 mile and 70 yards. Is claiming 15,000 non-winners of a race since January 24th, not that long ago. And that 1 mile and 70 yards, the typical winner has some tactical speed. Good 30% of them go wire to wire, Charles. So get out to the front and you got a chance. There's a strong rail bias. So maybe Wonder City at 15-1 can pull off the upset here. 2 through 7 play fair, 8 and out. Little bit of a penalty, so you get dinged the farther out you go. In race number 1, Charles, we have 1,000 simulations using speed figures to create our own odds, and then 1,000 simulations using early speed figures to create who might be where at the quarter-mile marker, and then finally our C-zone, yet another 1,000 simulations to see which horse might get the best trip according to its favored running style. Charles, that 2 horses, a big scratch, one of those that really impacted my picks again.
Yeah, same here. So the 1 has now a 34% chance, probably a little bit higher, but not by much. Still 34% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. But, you got that 7 and the 4. They're going to push them. 7 has got a 29% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. So, they're going to be pressuring that horse a little bit there. When it comes to simulation odds, we do have that 1, slightly under 9-1. You got 15-1 morning line. You might get closer probably to 10-1 when it's all said and done because of the 2 being scratched. Then we have the 5 slightly under 2-1, and morning line is 4.5 to 1. So that's not a bad overlay also.
Yeah, between 9 to 5 and 2 to 1 on that 5 horse. Probably going to be closer to the 9 to 5, maybe lower with the scratches today. We also like to look at how the horses have run their best in the past. This is the way to the winner's circle worksheet over here. The 1, the 4, and the 6, they're E types. They need to be on the lead. The 7 is a co-pilot, doesn't really particularly care for the lead. So looking at the horses that are likely to be up front, if we look at the recency bias, we do see that the 1 horse, the 6 horse, and the 7, but particularly the 1 has the strongest early pace. Late speed-wise, the 3 horse, the 5 horse, the 6, the 7, they're all kind of in the same community there. We put the early part of the race together and the late part of the race together. Tom Airy clicks out as the top choice in terms of the most complete beginning to middle to end type. Charles, we both settled for somebody a little bit different, though, with our first picks.
Yeah, I think with the local form now, with the 2 out especially, I like the way it sets up for the 3. The 3 won last time out, claim last time out. You got Pennington Ness combo. Ness gets 36% first after a claim. You got a lot of pluses with this horse.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's now I'm going to lean with that horse pretty good. The 5 is my second choice here. The one that's got a nice overlay there. Got some tactical speed, could sit right there, second, third, maybe even fourth, and could pounce on him at the end. Ran third last time out, and the jockey gets 14% overall. And then the 4 horse is my third choice. This horse has some speed, ran third last time out. Kind of, he fits with this group, so makes him a little dangerous. And then the 1, probably the speed of the speed here. The rail gets 22%, which is a nice little plus. This is second start after a layoff. You got a hot trainer in the last 14 days with that horse, so it makes him a little dangerous also.
I am also going to start with number 3, complete. You got Jamie Ness, of course, top dog at Parx, teaming up with Frankie Pennington. That combination wins at a high rate. This one's coming in from Turfway Park, so maybe a little bit of a track drop, maybe small one, at worst parallel. Has 3 decent Parx workouts since making the trek up from Kentucky. The only question for me is maybe not the biggest fan of running these type of races because the distance 6 times out, 1 win, 1 second, and a quartet of thirds. Wonder City, this one has an opportunity to get better in the second start after a layoff. If you look at the last race, it was about a second faster than his previous start when he ran at 1 mile and 70 yards. So if there is any improvement in here and continued quicker fractions, could be dangerous at that nice price. Number 7, Billy Ann. So it's a class dropper with much, much better 2 and 4 furlong pace numbers in her last race, which suggests to me that the horse is getting into form. And finally, number 5, Miss Loyalty. That is the biggest overlay according to the sim. The only thing that concerned me a little bit about this horse is one of those really high variance horses. Some races up here, some races down here. If we catch an up here race, the horse could be your winner. If we catch a down here race, might be off the board altogether. Trifecta for me with our $100 budget. I'm going to go 1-3 with the 1-3-7 over the 1-3, 5, 6, and 7. In race number 2, we are going to see the horses go 6 furlongs on the main track. At 6 furlongs on the main track, Mr. Charles, hold on 1 second here. Let's see what's going on here from Christopher D'Souza. Like the 6, winning race number 1, that C-zone score. Yeah, I'm kind of worried about that one. Looking back at that 6 horse, there's a reason why I kind of came off of that one a little bit. I think it had to do with the jockey, if I remember correctly. I don't remember exactly. It was the trainer. Leslie Bouchard, 0 for 32, kind of a cold barn. So that was the reason why I kind of came off that horse a little bit. Melvin Torres says his pick 5, 1, 3, 4, 5, 7. So seeing the first race is kind of wide open. Race 2, 4, 5, 7. Race 3, singling up the 3. Race 4, the 6 and the 3. And in race 5, the 6 and the 7. Scary Creations. I say not crazy, and I put the 2 together. The dyslexia popping into work there. Not crazy about the 3, yeah, and me either, really. 4 has the most intent for the lead. I like the 4 and the 6 in the first race for Scary. And Scary's usually pretty right on with his analysis as well. And if you have any picks like Christopher D'Souza, Melvin Torres, or Scary Creations, please, or questions, just throw them up in the comment section. We're here to find more winners, community, and learn from one another. At 6 furlongs, Charles, as I was saying, you have tactical speed. Usually the horse that wins is probably second, third, sometimes fourth at the quarter-mile marker. The post positions are pretty fair. You get a little bit of an advantage if you wear the 8 or higher in race number 2. As far as our early pace is concerned, Charles, you got a trio of horses that should battle it out when the gates open and the dirts fly.
Yeah, I mean, the 7, it's got a 48% chance. And I do think he'll be the one on lead, but I also do believe that the 2 has some speed to go with him. 25% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. And same thing with the 4, 22% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. With that being said, I think all 3 of them will be out there really winging it pretty good. But, I think overall at the end, I think the 2 might get the best ride in that whole situation, the best setup.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, when it comes to simulation odds, we're looking at the 4, slightly over even money. You got 3.5 to 1. The 2 is slightly under 2 to 1. You got 2 to 1. I mean, not excuse 2
for 5. Yeah, you're looking at the odds. I do that a million
here we go
times.
again.
Yes.
I was listening to you. Now I'm following your lead there. Okay, and then because no, it's morning line is 2 to 1, and then that's it when it comes to simulation odds.
Strong Z-zone score on that 2-horse Pylon. Unfortunately, also one that should be up on the lead, so should be comfortable pulling the cart if that's indeed the task it gets today. In the second race, our way to the winner's circle. Look at this. You got a lot of horses that want to be on the lead, the 1, the 4, the 5, and the 7, so they could kind of maybe burn each other. That situation, you kind of want the speed of the speed or the one with some closing ability. So it looks like the 7 and the 4, those 2 are your strongest early runners, with the 4 having a little bit better late pace, a lot better late pace than the 7-horse. As they come home on the way to the winner's circle there, it looks like the 5-horse Sailor again does indeed have some strong late pace, 5 points better than anybody else. So if it's within a length or so of the leaders coming down the stretch, should have enough juice to close them down. And finally, the 5-horse does tap out as the top horse, followed by the 4. So it looks like the 5 and the 4, Charles, could be up front and could be difficult to contend with all the way around the track. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think the 5 is going to be sitting like second or third, right behind the 2. Like I said, the 7, 2 are probably going to be up there, so it'll probably be sitting third. This horse won the last 2 times it's been out. You got a hot jock in the last 7 days. The horse does move up in class today, though, which is okay because, I mean, you won 2 in a row, so let's do something else here. And it does have enough speed there just to keep up with them, so I agree with that whole analogy there that it'd probably be ready to close at the end. The 3 is my second choice here. This horse ran second last time, got some of that tactical speed just like the 5, and it cuts back in distance today. The 7 horse is my third choice. Another one that has some tactical speed. He ran even last time out, and he does fit with this group, so it gives him a little bit of a shot. And then my last horse, the 4, is going to be out there winging it with the 2 and the 7. It depends who takes the lead there, and was well bet last time. And so this horse does fit with this group, so you got to give him at least a look at that.
And then you're going to give a look at the pick 4?
Yes, I'm going to take a big look at this pick 4. I'm going to take all 4 of my picks here in this race, and then I'm going to single out the next race, the 2, and then I'm going to take my top 2 picks in the third leg, and then the fourth leg, I'm going with not just my top 4, but my top 5 picks.
What's interesting is Melvin also put a single in the third race there. I put a single in the third race. Melvin singled to 3, you singled to 2, and I singled to 6. So that's good. We all can't be right on that one.
Let's rock and roll on now. Somebody's
going to win or we're all going to lose.
That's right.
I like Sailor again, the 5-horse. As you mentioned, won the last 2, stepping up in class. I'm really worried about the distance, though. 10 times out, only a second and a couple of thirds. The 4-horse Strong Breeze did run some better fractions last time out at 6 furlongs compared to 5.5 furlongs in the prior start. So going longer, running faster, that's a double plus in my book. And you also saw that those first half-mile pace numbers increased as well. Number 2, Pylon showed more enthusiasm late in the last outing. Going to catch a weight break today, but also stepping up in class. But I also like that really strong C-zone score. Stands out above every others in here, so should be well positioned no matter where it is on the track today. And then Rejected again, Charles's high school motto. Yeah. Tough call over the 3, but will likely be closer to the front than the 3. I'm going to carry a little bit less weight today. Pick 4 for me, too. I think the race comes down to the 4 or the 5. I'm going to single the 6 in that next race with the 1, 3, 5, with the 4, 6, and the 7 in race number 2. Let's see. How long do we have to race number 1 here, Charles?
They say 1 minute.
Yeah, they're going in the post right now. So let's go back to rewind to race number 1. There we go. We both like the 3, the 1, the 7, and the 5. Got some different opinions over here from Melvin, from Christopher D'Souza likes the 6. And over here we have the 6 and the 4 for Scary Creations in race number 2. Like number 8 and 7 win race 2, 8 win place and show for Christopher D'Souza in race number 2. And race number 1, let's see, Mr. Charles, how they're about to go. Race number 1, I think we have about 3 more horses left to load. We got the 1, the 2, the 1, the 3, and the 4 are in. The 5 has moved in pretty much without any issue. So you got the 6 and the 7, and then they should be off and running in Bensalem, Pennsylvania to kick off Money Monday. I think the 6 went in. Now the 7, they all look like they went in without much problem. You know, the 7's cooperating too. So nice, clean load to start the day. Looks sunny. The track looks dry and fast. And as the gate opens up, Mr. Charles, it looks like the 4 horse is going to get to the lead here as one of the 3 horses we thought would get to the lead. The 1 horse is right on the rail behind it. The 6 horse on the outside, one that had a small chance to get the lead. Again, 3 wide around the track. Does look to me like the 4 horse is running a little bit crooked, nose tilted towards the rail. 6 horses now move through the opening turn to the lead with the 4 in second. The 1 horse about 1.5 lengths off the 4 horse. The 7 horse now moving into 4th. They're all strung out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 horses, about a length apart from all of them. They went through the opening quarter in 23 and 2, so probably a little on the quick side. Charles, for a mile and 70 yards. As they come through the backstretch, starting to see the 6, the closing ground on the 6, that 7 horse now. That one's looking like it's moving probably the best right now. The 3 horse, that 1-1 favorite all the way in the back, though the jockey hasn't really asked him to go yet. The 6 horse, that high C-zone score, is still up there on the lead. Here comes the 5 now with the Mad Rush. 6 horse is going to stay up on that lead with that high C-zone score, Charles. We might regret not having that guy on the top of our tickets there, buddy. It's amazing how that silly thing works, no?
Yeah, no kidding.
But he kind of blew the turn there a little bit, though. So he's going to open up.
Pull away a little bit.
He's going to open up the door here, although it's getting crowded on the rail. I think the 1 horse might make up the ground, although he hasn't really asked. The 6 continues to run up the track, though, but he looks like he's the best horse out here today, Charles. I don't think there's any question about that. It's going to go 6, then the 1, and then it looks to me like 5. So 6, 1, and 5. 6, 1, and 5. I don't know, Charles. That C-zone score right off the board. 6 horse goes off at 6-1. Highest C-zone score by a landslide in there, Charles. You know, it's just something we created that I quite honestly haven't quite figured out the combination on yet.
Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, that was the only one that had the best C score. So, so yeah. I thought once that
and it had a good chance to get to the lead. I mean, not the greatest chance, but a 3% chance, but still an opportunity to get to the front. This is
well, he sat second pretty much most of the way.
Yeah, so he got the trip he was looking for.
Yep.
Race number 3. I think I'm just going to start putting. I don't know, Charles. It's just like I said. I had this idea in my mind. I figured horses have a preferred running style. I just got to get a better understanding how to utilize that tool, right? Boom. Yes. Nice one like that. That boom for Chris. Indeed. Yes. That high C-zone. What do you think about that C-zone score, Chris? Let us know what your thoughts are about it. It's been something that's worked pretty well. Race number 3, 6.5 furlongs, claiming 12,500. Non-winners of 3 lifetime. Let me ask you a question too. Would you like to see that for all tracks? The C-zone scores, the simulated odds, the the weight of the winner's circle, the pace, and all that kind of stuff. There's a few other things that we would add to it too. More granular post position and track position statistics as well. But in any case, let us know in the comment section what you think about that. 6.5 furlongs, claiming 12,500. Non-winners of 3 lifetime. The purse is 23 grand. At 6.5 furlong, early speed wins. Charles, quite a few times it goes wire to wire. Inside 3 get a little bit of an advantage. I forgot to write the number down on how much it goes wire to wire. 8 and out, a little bit of a bonus. 4 through 7, they play under par. Again, early speed does make a difference here, Charles. In race number 3, got a couple scratches, the 4 and the 7, so kind of knocking that out a bit. That means that 2-horse Catalan's probably going to be tough to catch.
Yeah, with that 7 being scratched here, that's why I really like the 2 here a lot. The odds going from 38% to getting to the quarter pole is probably a lot closer to 50, 55%, I believe. Who's going to challenge him or pressure him? There's a couple of horses, maybe the 3, the 1, possibly the 6. So they will pressure a little bit. When it comes to simulation odds, that 2 at 2 to 1 and the morning line is 5 to 1. I'm kind of hoping it stays at 5 to 1, but I'm probably going to guess it's probably going to get closer to that 2 to 1 odds, probably, especially with the 4 and the 7 being scratched. And that's it for simulation odds.
And there we go with the 1-horse again with a high C-zone score. The 2-horse also has one. This is a good combination here, Charles, and I agree with you. That's something you should look for. You got the overlay with the simulation odds. Got a good chance to get the lead, probably going to be your leader, and has a really high C-zone score. Could be a very difficult one to win. Number 6, 250 day of common for the 6-horse in race number 3 or race number 1. In the 3rd race, Charles, our way to the winner's circle worksheet is going to tell us that most of these horses want to be forwardly placed. Even a 3-horse could be. It's a PC type. So this is a race where early speed could make all of the difference. You got early speed, that 2-horse, all the way down. They're all within a few points of each other. It could be pretty hot up front. That means you better have a little bit of late legs in order to sustain. Of the speed horses, the 2-horse Catalan does have that. The 3-horse, although, has the most late speed. Again, this looks like a very competitive race, except for maybe the 1-horse in here, although it does have that high C-zone score. Charles, how do you see race 3 with all these scratches playing out?
Well, I have the 2 winning, and I even have a $20 win bet on the 2, but it seems like everybody has a single in this race. This horse, I think, is the speed of the speed. It will go out in front. Come and catch me type of thing, and ran second last time out, claimed last time out. Trainer gets 16% with that angle. So I think he'll be out in front and trying to win this wire to wire. I do believe the 3 will be flying at the end. Drops in class, tactical speed. He'll probably sit the closest of the closers. And the trainer gets 12% with 46 plus days off. And you got a hot jockey in the last 7 days on that 3. Then the 6-horse ran even last time out. It's got some of that tactical speed to sit there about 3rd. And the trainer gets 11% on second start after a claim. And then the 5-horse is my final pick here. Does have some speed, but is he going to be enough to go out there with that too? I doubt it. Just toss the last one, kind of makes him fit there. And you got a jockey that gets overall about 14% win.
And you're going to put 20 to win on the 2, eh?
On the 2.
There's my best Canadian impression. The Scary Creation says he likes race 3 between the 2 and the 6. I kind of agree with him on that. 3 could upset them. He's dropping, but I think he likes the off track better. Race number 3, number 1 to win, Denali Ray. That's for Christopher D'Souza. So we have the 1, the 2, the 3, the 6. The only one we don't have is the 5. Anybody out there on that 5-horse? Johnny's little girl. I think we pretty much just, between all of us, put that one in the winner's circle. Charles, what do you think?
I think so.
Moving in stereo. I was listening to the radio this morning. The Cars Moving in Stereo came on. And then, of course, you got a horse moving in stereo today. And yeah, so that's an omen, in my opinion. Top last race speed figure at this level showed more interest early and last. And the reason I pointed out this level, a lot of these other horses are moving up in class. So perhaps, and a lot of them haven't beaten the lesser competition. So maybe they might struggle against the upper competition. Catalan at Parx, 9 times out, 2 wins, 3 seconds, 2/3. So it has performed okay at the track. It's claiming and moving up, which again, I mentioned most of the horses are. The last race might be a touch better than it looked on paper. That Snappy Ride, that 3-horse, is a class dropper in here as well. Trio of maintenance workout since that last race indicates that Snappy Ride should be in snappy shape. And finally, I'm going to take that 5-horse. Johnny's Little Girl was a tough call over the 1, but beat horses at higher levels than the 1 has so far. I'm going to do a double with the 6, just a cheap bet here over the 1, 3, 5, and the 6-horse, hoping to get through to the next one. Queen Quien Gano La Prima de Parx Racing. Where can you watch it live? I think they have a live stream on YouTube, Leonardo, where you can go over there on YouTube and search in Parx live stream. I think they also have one at the Parx website, parx.com. I think that's or you can Google Parx. I think they do have a live stream as well. Not 100% on the Parx part, but I have seen him live on YouTube before. In race number 4, they're going to run a 7-furlong race, a bunch of these 7-furlong races today. So keep an eye on this one.
A lot of them.
Claiming $15,000 for fillies and mares 3 years old and up that have not won a race since January the 24th. At 7 furlongs, you do want some speed, early speed, 36% of the time. Takes them from wire to wire. There is a very strong inside 3 bias. Where anything above a 3, there is a penalty, Charles. So inside speed looks like that's the way. The 1-horse Miss Pepina of the inside horses has the most giddy up and go.
Yeah, but the 5-horse has got that basically a 36% chance of having that lead at that quarter pole. So that one's going to probably be the one out winging it, and I believe that's who's going to be out there flying big time. The 7 might push that horse along at 21% chance of having that lead. Then when it comes to simulation odds, we have the 3 slightly under 2-1, morning line is 6-1, and then we have the 7 slightly under 3-1. You got morning line of 4.5-1.
Love on Fire could be a little dangerous too here, Charles. A horse neither one of us has. A little bit of a chance to be on the front, a decent chance to run a comfortable race and that overlay. So I'm a little bit worried that neither of us have Love on Fire. Maybe there's a reason for that. Let's see if we can find the secret as to why neither of us has Love on Fire. In race 4, the 5 and the 1 are your pilot, co-pilot types. The 5 definitely wants to lead. The Goddess of Snakes, that's where that horse has done its best and most winning. And look at this, Charles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the horses in this field all have pretty similar early speed numbers. So that's going to be a challenge to get that lead. Again, then you probably want horses that have a little bit of late legs. The 4-horse, the 1 closer in the bunch. But behind that, the 3, Boscara, and the 5, Goddess of Snakes, they do have a shot to stay up front. And then finally, looks like it's a toss-up between the 3 and the 5 as to who has the best chance to run the most complete race from beginning to end. This one looks pretty competitive on paper, Charles. How does it play out to you in your picks?
I end up the same way as that chart says. I like the 5 and the 3 as my 2 picks, top 2 picks. I do have the 5 on top because I believe that one will be out in front. But anyway, this horse drops in class today, cuts back in distance. It was well bet last time. Ness gets 26% overall. The 3 won last time out. Trainer gets 22%, and definitely has that speed to keep up with that 5. So I just see those 2 going around. The 6 is another one there that has some tactical speed. Ran 3rd last time out. Cuts back in distance also on this horse. So it makes him a little dangerous. Should be fit. And then the 1 horse, that rail horse, that rail gets 22%. This horse ran 2nd last time out. Another one that cuts back and gets Paco.
The Goddess of Snakes is, I'm not totally sold that it's dropping in class coming in from Penn, but it's what it looks like on paper. You got that Jamie Ness, Ruben Silvera combination at Parx. You just cannot overlook that. And last time that horse did run at Penn, it was the 40-cent favorite and failed as the favorite. But Has 4 nice workouts since then. So Jamie said, you know what? No disappointments today. We're going to make sure you're fit, firm, and ready to run. Boss Kara did run the top last race. Speed Figure is walking up the class ladder. Charles, making your favorite handicapping angle here. The third start after a layoff. If you rewind through the previous 3-race cycle, the third race was absolutely the best of the bunch. Number 1, Miss Pepina, Paco Lopez on this one today. You know, Paco, if he's up front, going to make it difficult for you to pass him. Another making that third run off the break. And last time out, ran a little bit of a Z pattern. Early pace figure here, a little bit of dip in the middle of the race, and then second wind coming down the stretch. And the last time Miss Pepina broke from the rail, Charles ran right into the winner's circle. And finally, there was 6 horse there. Moonchild does have some early speed. Cutting back in distance probably helps a little bit in here. Did run a little bit quicker times at 1 mile and 70 yards by about a second more than it did in its prior. Are you all right, bro?
Yeah.
All right. Pick 4 for me, 1, 3, 5 over the 4, 6, 7, singling up that 2 with the 2, 4, 8, and 11 in race number 4. Off to race 5 in the 5th race. We're running 6.5 furlongs again, Charles, at 6.5 furlongs. We did mention early speed. Hold on one second. Let me get to the comments. Let's see. Miss Pepino, first time, more claim. Paco, yes, that's it. Yeah, we'll be over bet. Moonchild will be on the lead, most intent. 5 to 6 exact the box for Scary Creations in race number 4. Number 6, Mano, single right there. That's its hand. Last 10 races, number 6 has had the lead at the start. First call, second, 6 times out, 6 out of 10. The intent is there to get to the front, indeed. Race number 4, Christopher D'Souza likes the 4 horse to win. Sim odds of 12, almost 13 to 1. Into the 5th race at 6.5 furlongs. Again, early speed. A bunch go wire to wire. I didn't write it down before. I just copy and paste there afterwards. Inside 3 and 8 get a bonus. 4 through 7, a little under par. In race number 5, Charles, I think this is the first one. Well, we do still have a scratch. Fast Bob was the big overlay there. Not today anymore. That goes to Press My Bets. But some of the speed, well, plenty of speed in this one, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like there is plenty of speed. You got the 7. 44% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole, but then you got that 3 at 25%, and you got the 8 at 16, the 4 at 10. So they're all going to be pretty much winging it there. So it's going to be tough. I think the 7 might be the one that should be the scariest overall. I think on the lead. When it comes to simulation odds, you have that 4 at just slightly under 2 to 1. You got 5 to 1 odds on morning line, so that's not bad. And then I think that's it, right? Yeah.
Got a pretty good, robust C-zone scores, but the 7, this cat can jump, scoring the highest of them all. Rob the Rich and Get Set also should get trips that are to their liking. As far as our pace setup looks like in race number 5, we're looking at a race where you got the 7, the 6, and the 4 as the types that want to be on the lead. A lot of versatility, though, with the 1, the 3, and the 8. Got a lone closer in here with the 2 horse. As far as the early part of the race is concerned, according to the most recent numbers, Splice the main brace and Bring Me a Check. But again, I mean, minus the 1 and the 2, any one of the other 5 horses could have the lead, which means late pace will probably play a part in this. Rob the Rich and AC Expressway, along with Press My Bets and Get Set. So 4 of the horses there. Again, another race that's shaping up to be kind of competitive. Looking like the 6 and the 4 might have a slight edge over all of them, except maybe the 7. This cat can jump, but even still within 10 points. Another race that's shaping up to be kind of competitive, I think, Charles. So how did you break it down?
I had a really tough time with this race, I have to admit. I ended up with the 2, probably the truest closer of the whole group. Drops in class, will be flying at the end. Second start after a layoff. So that's what I ended up there with the 2 on top. The 3 is my second choice here. This horse drops in class also. Another one that has that tactical speed. It could go to the front or it could just sit off of them. Either way, trainer gets 23% overall. The 6 is another scary horse, believe it or not. This horse drops in class, has speed to steal this race. It really does, even though it only shows, almost 4% of having that quarter pole. and you get a big weight break with this one. You got that Sophia. She's riding this horse. She's hot right now. She won up in Canada. She's won here at Parx. And then the 7 is my final choice here. This is another one that has the speed, probably to go wire to wire, drops in class. You got Pennington on. People, I think if you are playing pick 5s, pick 4s, this is definitely probably an all button.
Big word, all. Going back to race number 2 for Pereira. In race number 2, Charles and I both like the 5 horse. Right now, the bettors like the 5 horse too. That one's 4-5. Got the 4 horse in second. Charles likes the 3 horse. The 4 horse is 5-2. The 3 horse is 6-1. Both kind of got the 7 in there at 5-1, and then a little bit of split there for me on that 2. The 2 horse being 13-1. And where else do we disagree on, Charles? That's it. That other horse. As for me in race number 5, if we go back to the 5th race, bet for the day in race number 1. The 1 wins race number 5. The bet of the day from Christopher D'Souza, and he's usually pretty spot on as well. So keep an eye out on that 1 horse. In the 5th race, I have Rob the Rich, probably the most consistent horse in this field, running high quality races. Press my bets. The 4 horse top last race speed figure. This guy's an all or nothing horse. 21 races, 5 wins, nothing else. It could be a better race coming in here in the second start off the layoff. The 7 horse, This Cat Can't Jump. Pennington and Lake, they've run 10 times together. They've managed to score in 4 of those and has been facing harder horses than what it's catching today. And finally, Splice the Membrane. That was a tough call for me over the 1, admittedly, but it just runs a little bit more consistently, in my opinion, and has when you look through the speed numbers, just looks like from time to time pops a pretty big race in there. Good morning, Jay. How are you? Nice to see you. 6 in the opener was by far the fastest mare going back and was the class. Not sure how most people missed out. Well, that's what horse racing is all about, unfortunately. If we all knew exactly who was going to win, all the odds would be 1-9.
Or less, if that could be possible.
Yeah. So, we're all kind of shocked we missed that one too, because when we did the grade out here, the horse did score as the top one in terms of getting its preferred race shape. So off to the 6th race, Charles, now, right?
Yes.
Or did I go through my picks in race 5?
Yeah, you did.
I think I did. All right. So race number 6. Let's go through race 6. I'm kind of confused a little now. That happens. In the 6th race today, this is 6 furlongs, claiming 25 grand. Purse of 34 grand against 6 furlongs. Favors tactical speed. A good 35%. Nice chunk there. Take them from gate to wire. Post positions 1 through 7 are fair. A little bit of an advantage if you wear an 8 or an out. In race number 6, Charles, our early speed belongs on the inside.
Yeah, 55% chance of having the lead at the quarter pole is that 1. But the 2 might have a say in that, which is at 29% having that lead. I personally think the 2 will sit second and probably try to take over at the end. You also have that 3 that might want to push them both up front. When it comes to simulation odds, the 1 is slightly over even money, and you got 5-1 morning line, not bad. And then we have that, the 5, slightly over 3-1. You got 6-1 morning line, which is not a bad overlay also.
C-Zone score belonging to the inside 2 horses, Cajun Lover and Sevier, as the 2 horses that look like they should get their most preferred trips. As far as the race shape is concerned, in the 6th spot, it looks like most of the horses want to be forwardly placed. The 1 and the 3 are ones that want the lead. Cajun Lover does look like he'll indeed be the place that he wants, with a 6-point advantage over the next closest horse. So could be as much as a length ahead of everybody at the quarter-mile marker. And then you got a whole host of horses right behind that with very similar numbers. Late speed belongs to Gebert, and that one also has a pretty good advantage. 6 points better than Bad. A little hat tip to George Thorogood, I suspect. As far as the beginning, the middle, and the end, adding it all up, it looks like another very competitive race. Even the Gebologist, not all that far off, within 8 points of the George Thoroughbred. Hat tip and Bad. Again, another race that shapes up to be kind of competitive, in my opinion. Charles, what do you see happening here?
Yeah, it's a little competitive, but I still think it's like probably a 2 or 3 horse race. The 2 horse is my top choice. This horse has the speed to actually go to lead if it has to, but I think he will sit second. And this horse drops in class. He was well bet last time out. You got Pennington and Ness combo again. You can't never turn your head on that. And then the 3 horse has that speed to either push him or take the lead if he has to. Ness gets 17% when they're 90 plus days off. This horse ran third the last time out, so I think this horse would be ready to go. The 1 horse is definitely has the speed, probably the one that will be on the lead. He was well bet last time out. The jockey gets 21% overall. So what do you ask for those top 3? I think those 3 are the ones to beat. The 6 is my final pick, which would be my price horse. Has some speed to keep up with them. Ran second last time. The trainer gets 17% first after a claim.
And you're going to do a pick 4 here?
Yeah, I'm going to start with my top 2 picks here, with my top 2 picks in the next leg, top 2 picks in the third leg, and then go on a single.
Yeah, that's 7 horse. I don't know though. We had a singled up 7 the other day that kind of came back to haunt us. Sevier, that 2 horse class dropper coming in from Aqueduct, though it's also run at Parx 16 times, managed to win 11 of those. Held speed through the first 6 furlongs of its last race in a 7 furlong race. So cutting back today, that extra furlong, less furlong, probably makes a big distance, big help in terms of cutting back in distance. Cajun Lover, this one does really break sharply. I think, and that's exactly what they want to do again today after putting in a 3 furlong bullet workout between races. And along with a really strong get going, it does make a big mid move. So I think this one's going to be in contention coming out of that turn. Gebologist, the 3 horse, you can't pass on Jamie Ness and Ruben Silvera. And if it can just rewind back to the only other Parx race that it's had, it would win this. Finally, Gebert, the 4 horse, is going to cut back from 7 furlongs as well. That could be the answer to unlock the winner's circle for the 4 horse. The one the last 2 times, when you look back through the past performances, the last 2 times the horse went shortened up from one race to the next, won both of those. I'm going to do a pick 4. I'm going to single the 2 with the 2, 4, 8, and 11 with the 1, 5, and the 7. I think it is a good chance that this pick 4, especially if some of the low price horses win, could be really, really chalky, Charles.
Yeah, I have a feeling it probably will be chalky.
So you're kind of hoping that you get a nice shot in the middle. Race 2 coming up. If the 4 has a 0-0 chance and a 94 on the LP, 4-win race number 6 for Christopher D'Souza. I think the 4 horse does have a pretty good shot to win that one as well. As far as race number 2, they are loading into the gates. Looks like the first one, the 1 horse, has gone in, and that being Stay Hydrated. Very good idea. Sometimes I wonder if I do or not because I get headaches all the time. But if you notice, I'm always drinking stuff, so I don't know how the heck I'm dehydrated. Drink water, drink Gatorade, drink.
Yeah, you got to drink water.
I do. I start the day with like 2 cups of water just to get the water in there. Then I usually follow it up with a thing of Gatorade, and then I start drinking my caffeine.
Oh.
So that's my routine. And then unfortunately today, I think, I don't know, maybe the weather's going to change. Sinus is bothering me a little bit. In race number 2, the 5 horse right now is your 1-to-1 favorite, Sailor Again. The 4 horse stands second at 3-1, and the gates have opened. And as expected, the 2 horse did get to the lead early on, being challenged by the 1 a little bit. But on the outside there, the 7 is kind of comfortably galloped into place. Rejected again. The 4 horse now deciding it's had enough of all this, pressing up in the middle of the 1 and the 2. 7 horse is 4 wide to the outside. So right now they stack up 1. Well, the 2 is taking the lead right now. It looks like it. No, that's the 4 horse at 3-1. And then to the outside, the 2 at 17-1. And then outside that is the 7, who's looking sharp again, Charles, with that high, with the pretty strong C-zone score and a good chance to be up on the lead. He's edged his way to the lead, as a matter of fact. And a 2 horse is starting to tail off a little bit. The 4 horse hasn't really been asked to go. But the 7 horse is on the lead. The jockey's asking a little bit out of that horse. The question, I don't know if they're going to catch that one either, Charles.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, the only one that maybe has a chance is the 3 horse in there. But he looks like he's making up a lot of ground late, but he's not going to catch him. That's going to go. The 7 horse is going to be your winner, Charles. So you're alive in your pick 4. I just got bounced, unfortunately. But it's going to go 7 And then the 3 horse is your second choice coming in at 9-2, and then the 5, and then the 4.
Yeah.
What was that? 7-2-5-4? Is that how it went?
Yeah.
No, 7-3-5-4.
So I would have had the try and the super, and if I would have played it.
Yeah. Well, you're live in the pick 4. It's better than I can say right now. Again, Speed getting to the lead. That horse. So right now, I think in the first 2 races, the horses that came out second ended up being your winner. And again, just looking at it, you got the highest lead and the second highest season score. Odds were fair here, although it didn't get off at 8-1, got off at 5-2. Probably a little bit to do with the scratches in there.
Yeah. Well, we kind of knew that with the scratch, but
we're doing good. Jared, how you doing, brother? Been a while since we've seen you last. Hopefully everything is good out in New York City. I know you live outside New York City, right? It says early gift, 2 fills is your key. Kentucky Derby winner this year. You heard it here first. Well, that's actually not true because we went to Hawthorne on Thursday, and the wonderful lady who was a server there, she said she knows Larry Ravelli very well, and that they think that horse is going to win. So we kind of heard it there first. Race number 7 is what we're going to cover now. 1 mile, 70 yards. Charles, got to get a little bit hotter here for myself anyway. Claiming 10,000, purse of 27 grand. As we mentioned at the top of the show, early speed does well. Our tactical speed, second or third. We've seen both horses that kind of sat right off the lead come to and win so far. That's the way the first race went as well. Strong rail bias, 2 through 7, play fair, 8 and out, catch a penalty. Charles, in race number 7 is the first time today we don't see any scratches and we see a giant field. So speed could play here as well.
And there's a lot of speed in this race, actually. You got the 5, a 39% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. You also have the, what would be the 10 at 18%, the 2 at 16%, and then even the 7 at 15% that will have a chance of having that lead at that quarter pole. So I think we got plenty of speed in this race. I think they're all going to be up there pushing each other, whoever gets on the lead. When it comes to simulation odds, we have, what do we have? Do we have anything here? The 8 even money, and you got 3.5 to 1, and the 9 is slightly under 4 to 1. You got 8 to 1 morning line, and that is it when it comes to simulation odds.
And plenty in here that should get really solid race shapes. You got the 1 with a strong C-zone score, the 4 with a strong C-zone score, the 6 with a strong C-zone score, and the 12. All these horses in here, maybe the 9 has the best combination of stuff. Good C-zone scored, should get a trip that it likes. A little bit of an overlay as well. Would have liked to see the horse be a little bit more forwardly placed. So maybe that horse is one that can pull up the upset at a price. As far as our race shape is concerned in race number 7, we do see the 3, the 4, the 5, and the 10. Those are, they want to be pilots. And of those, the 5 and the 10 and the 4 all have the most early speed. So maybe the 3 gets a little bit discouraged. Jump for Alex, unable to compete with the 4, the 5, and the 10. You got the 2 and the 11 as pressure horses, although the early speed shows that they might not be able to pressure the lead. The 2 might be able to. 11 might have a little bit of a difficult task. The 1 and the 12 are versatile horses, but they don't show up here very well either, right in the middle of the pack. As far as the beginning, the middle, and the end, if we add them all up, screensaver, it's a little bit of an advantage over Mr. Thirsty. The 4 and the 8 look like a cut above the rest of the field. Charles, wouldn't be surprised to see either the 4 or the 8 take home the top prize here. How about you?
Yeah, I have the 8 actually as your winner here. This horse has got that tactical. This horse does have a little bit more speed, and it probably actually shows. But this horse really could close pretty well. So I got this horse on top. This horse ran second last 2 times, drops in class. And once again, we got another weight break with Sophia on board. 7 pounds is going to be a lot in this race, I think. So I think that makes this horse the winner. And then the 9 is the second place. My second choice here, ran second last time out. Trainer gets 17% overall, and this is third start after a layoff. So this horse is going to be a little dangerous. And then that 11 is my third choice here. This horse has some of that tactical speed. I think he'll be more on the closing side of it. Drops today in class, got Paco aboard. And then the 12 ran third last time out. Trainer gets 18% second after a claim. Totally fits with these horses. And look at that C zone on that horse. It is the highest C zone there is on here. So it makes that horse a little dangerous also.
You got a lot of bets here, Charles.
Yes, I do. I'm going to start a pick 5 here. I'm going for the fence here. I'm going with the 8-9 here. And then I'm taking my top 3 picks in the second leg of this. Then I'm singling that 7. And then I'm going with my top 4 picks in the last 2 legs of the pick 5. And then I'm going to do an ice cold 8 on top of the 9.
Exactly. All right. I am going to start off. We'll go back to race 3 picks in a minute there, Peria, and we'll let you know what we got cooking there. In the 7th race, I will start off with the 8 horse as well. That one is Mr. Thrifty. Is that right? Yes, it is, right, Mr. Thrifty.
Well,
this one's been knocking on the door just real close as of late. It is a class dropper off the top last race, speed figure, and catching a weight break today. I think that weight break makes the difference today. Artistic Reason, a 2 horse in the money at Parx, 6 out of 7. 2 wins, 3 seconds, and a third. Should be close to the pace when the gates open up. I think that's a possibility. A little quicker early fractions in the most recent run. Number 4, Screensaver, probably the most consistent horse in the entire field. Second by a nose the last time the horse tried at this level. Finally, Colonel Juan won the last time he ran at this level, so moving down in class. It was also the only time that Paco Lopez in the last 10 times was on this horse. Trifecta for me, the 2, 4, 8, over the 2 and the 8, over the 2, 4, 5, 8, and 11 in race number 7. Quick rewind back to race number 3. I got the 6. Charles has the 2. Scary Creations and others agree the 6 and the 2 look like the best horses, although Marty Torres has singled up the 3 horse in his pick 5. So let's see if indeed that works out. There's a lot of difference of opinion in this race number 3 upcoming. As far as my picks, we went through race number 7, so now we're going to go off to race number 8, right?
Correct.
All right, yes. In the 8th spot, they're going to run 7 furlongs. Again, I think there's going to be a 3 races in a row at 7 furlongs here, Charles, if I remember correctly. Let's see, race number 8. Let me get this up in here. So when I go back and post the times later on, when we update the video on YouTube, I'll put all the race times down in the description so you can just jump from race to race to race if you want to go back and review. Scary Creations, what do you think about the NFL draft? What will the Bears do? I am not really too sure what the Bears are going to do. They probably should have traded Justin Fields and picked up C.J. Stroud. Might have been the best thing that they could do. As far as Scary Creations, taking a small shot with the 7, Samurai Saints. 0 for 8 on all weather. Now back on dirt where his best races have come through. Tough race, though, I agree. I think he's referring back to race number 7. In race 8, 7 furlongs, optional claiming, 40 grand, purse of 42 grand. Again, speed, early speed. Speed, got to be fast. 36% of them go wire to wire. Very strong inside 3 bias here. Charles, anything outside 3 gets dinged a little bit with a penalty. Again, speed being a key factor. Riverview has plenty of it.
Yeah, 82% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. Probably have to agree with them there, but there is some other speed in this race. You got the 4 at 11%, and they show the 3 with 2%. But I think there's a little bit more out there with this speed itself. But with kind of simulation odds, we have the 5 slightly over even money. We got 4.5 to 1 morning line with that, and then the 9 at slightly over even money, and we have 3.5 to 1 morning line.
So Pierre wants to know, who do you like in race number 3, Mr. D'Souza? Good to see that. Jared, since you told me Giants offense's line sneaky, still think the offensive line is where they go, or cornerback with the 25th pick? I think you always want to, the stronger you are up the middle, like in war, like in chess, the better chance you have to win. So if I'm a GM, I'm going to focus on up the middle, and I'll worry about the outsides later on. All these horses should really, in this race, get themselves a very good trip, very comfortable positioning for all of them. As far as the position they want when they typically find the winner circle, looks to me like the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 8. Boy, plenty of early speed up in there. All of them want the lead. Of those, it does look like the 2 horse is going to get the lead, but he'll get plenty of pressure except from the 7 and the 9. Everybody also put some heat on that 2-horse. And then looks like he does have an ability to fade late if he gets pressured hard based upon that late pace score. Broadway Charlie Rose has the top number. At the end, Gold Medal Anna, not too far behind. We go ahead and take a look at the complete picture. We see Broadway Charlie Rose ranking out as the top horse. Precious Avery coming in second. God, it looks like it's dropping 2 by 2 by 2 all the way down, Charles. Until you get to Mary and Grace down there. Then it goes by, just 1 and then 2 by 2 again. In any case, this looks like maybe a competitive race between the top 4 or 5 horses in this field. Charles, how do you rank them?
Yeah, I have the 9 actually as my top choice here. This horse ran third last time out, well bet. Trainer gets 21%. Horse does pretty decent overall. So I think this horse is going to be right there. He should have one of the perfect trips in here. He does have the highest C-zone score there is. So the 1 horse is my second choice here. This horse drops in class. Has the rail, which gives him 22% most of the time they get, and it cuts back in distance, and they add the Lasix today. So that makes that horse a little on the dangerous side. And then the 4. The 4 has some speed. Second time Lasix, which I think that's a great angle. And you got that weight break on this horse with Sophia on this horse. She'll be winging it with this horse. And then the 5 is my final pick here. Ran third last time out. Trainer gets 18%, 46 plus days off. And it's another one with second time Lasix.
Foggy Night, the 1 horse, is dropping from a grade 2 at Aqueduct. This is a pretty significant drop in class right here. Going to get Lasix for the first time, which I think will help that horse. Rides that hot rail and has plenty of good works getting prepped for today. Broadway Charlie Rose, the 5 horse, did run the top last race speed figure last time out and coming down from a non-graded stakes race. Although this horse runs competitively, winning has been a chore for this one. So I think probably a good second place type. Gold Medal Anna, better early race numbers in the last race and had some nice workouts since then. So I expect a little bit more today. Bet of the Century, the 8 horse. Last race was much, much better than it looks on paper with much, much faster fraction. Today, getting Lasix is going to help that horse keep it together longer today. I'm going to put together a pick 4. The 1 and the 5 here, going to single up that 7 in that next race. And then 3, 9, and then I'm going to close it out with 5 horses in race number 11. The 2, the 3, the 4, the 7, and the 8. Race number 9, man, you got so many scratches in this race, just completely messing up what could have been a nice stakes race right in here, right?
Yeah.
Those Scary Creations, race number 9, like the 2 to win and like the 6 to place and show in race number 9, 90% Bryn in this upcoming race. And in race number 9, again, this is a stakes race in here, Charles. It's a 7 furlong stakes race. It is the unique Baya Stakes for $100,000, 7 furlongs. Again, early speed does best, 1, 2, 3. Those post positions get much better win rates than anything outside of that. All these scratches, Charles, kind of screwing up this race a little bit. That means Disco Ebo way out by itself with the early speed.
Yeah. Now that's why I have to single this horse, because I really don't think anyone's going to challenge this horse at all. I think he's going to go wire to wire. I'm going to call it right now, wire to wire.
Yeah, but we thought that same thing for that 7 horse that
came
in the other day.
I'm calling it.
I think what you should do is rephase it. You're jinxing it.
No, I am not jinxing this horse. This horse is going to dance all the way to the winner's circle.
All right.
No pun intended with Disco. Anyway, the simulation odds, it looks like, well, the 1 has got slightly over 2 to 1, 4 to 1 morning line, which we're not going to see anymore. And same thing with the 7 and the 2. All of them, you're not going to really see no overlays now. I think.
I don't think so either, Charles.
Yeah, just none of them are really going to see an overlay.
Yeah, and the 2 and the 7 should get trips that they're very comfortable with, unquestionably. I think that's what you'll see happen. Again, I think the scratch has really changed probably how this race lays out. You got the 7 horse out here as an EP type. That one's going to be able to get up on the lead. It does have a really strong early pace advantage, over 15 points over everybody else. And the 7 Disco Evo should be able to run at a very comfortable pace out on the front. as long as a jockey doesn't get nuts and run like some crazy 20.5 fractions or something like that, it could be very difficult for him to run them down. You in race number 3, you like the one horse Pierre in race number 3. That was in the question for Pierre, right? He likes the one horse. As far as the late speed is concerned, the Morning Matcha does have a pretty good late speed advantage over everybody else. Probably will sit second or third. I mean, in a 4-horse race, where else is it going to be? There's a good chance to be there, though. Ebo does have the second best. It's going to be, I think, really hard to run that one down, Charles. It does have a pretty strong 11-point advantage over the rest of the field from the combination score. So many times you see this and you think the 7-horse is unbeatable, and then they get beat, Charles. Morning Matcha mows down Disco Evo at the wire. Horse loves the track. All wins came here. Paco is on. Yeah, Paco might bump him out of the way if necessary too, which I like. And then get the objection, and hopefully they let the objection go. All right, Charles, how do you got this race played out?
Well, I mean, there's 4 horses in the race. Here's my 4. Here I think how it's going to lay out. 7 on top, wire to wire. 1 last 4 times, has speed. Pennington aboard. Trainer gets 22% with 46 plus days rest. The 1 will finish second, I believe. Ran third last time out. Drops in class. Rail gets 22%. Trainer gets 22% with non-graded stakes entries. And then the 2 I have finishing third. 1 last time out. Tactical speed should sit right there. Trainer gets 22%. And then the 3 rounding up the field. Ran second last time out. Second start after a layoff. The trainer gets 24% with that, the angle. And so I think that's how they'll finish.
And you're going to single up the 7 on a $1 cheap pick 3 for $4.
Yeah, you got to single out the 7, and then I'm going with my top 2 picks and the last 2 legs.
Yeah, the 7-horse Disco Evo has every advantage here. I mean, there's just no excuses for this one not to win, but it does frighten me. The 2-horse, 90% Bryn, a little bit of an overlay according to the simulator. Probably going to be even more of an overlay because of the odds, but also the strongest C-zone score. So I think this one's probably going to try to sit right behind Disco Evo and see if maybe it can pull off the upset. Morning Matcha, hot rail, coming off of a G3 at Aqueduct. Been at Parx 6 times, won 4 of them, but a second and a third. Clearly likes the track and has some killer late pace numbers as well. And then finally, Trolley Ride. Really, that's the only one that's left. So someone had to be 4 out of 4. I'm not going to bet this race because I think it's going to be difficult to find anything to make any money out of in race number 9. In the 10th spot, they're going to go 7 furlongs again in another stakes race. This one is the Paige McKinney Stakes, or excuse me, Paige McKinney Handicap. Easy money on the 2-horse to win, Christopher says. All right, easy money on that 2-horse to win in race number 9. I hope that indeed is the case. Well, yeah, I got it in my pick 4, though, as a single, so maybe not. At 7 furlongs, Charles, we know early speed, inside 3. We've seen that before. As far as this race is concerned, they didn't muck it up with a bunch of scratches. So only the 1-horse, Farm Mo Power, who actually did factor into my picks beforehand, not in this race. Got plenty of early speed, though. The 8-horse Smooth B on the outside with the most, but plenty to its inside, which could force that horse a little bit wide.
Yeah, the 8-horse has a 34% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. But, you know, you got that 2 and the 3, one at 24% and the other one at 22% having that lead at the quarter pole. I think they really will be pushing that horse a lot at the end. When it comes to simulation odds, you got the 2, slightly over 2 to 1, and you got 4.5 to 1 on morning line. And then you have the 7 at slightly under 2 to 1, and we got 8 to 1 morning line. And that's it when it comes to simulation odds.
And the 7-horse, Prince of Rain, getting a very strong C-zone score, very strong overlay. Absolutely one you have to consider in your picks. As far as the 2-horse, Twisted Ride, another one with a pretty good C-zone score. Good shot to be the pace setter and an overlay. So Twisted Ride and Prince of Rain, 2 to consider off of those statistics. And see who we consider in terms of what the race might shape up in this stakes race, this handicap. You got a quartet that want to be on the front. The 5 and the 6 need to be pilots. And it looks like neither one of them might get there. That 2-horse, which is a pressure closer type, could take the lead if it wants. Not necessary. Plenty of early speed. You see 4 of them, all in the mid and upper 90s. Those are some pretty strong numbers. There'll be some pace to this race. That 3-horse Baron, the 7, Prince of Rain, and 5, Market Maven all have some good late pace. I think this one is another one when you just look at the combination scores. Going to be pretty competitive with the exception of maybe the 4, maybe the 9, although the 9 should be involved from beginning to end. I think this one does set up to be maybe a shock in this race, Charles, because it looks like the 3-horse on paper should be tough to beat. But one of those short shots in these stakes races at the end, it's going to get upset.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I think the 3 is my top choice here. One last time out, definitely has the speed to stay up there with them. Also could close very well. Pennington is aboard. You got a trainer that hits at 22%. So, great things for that 3. We got the 6-horse here. This horse ran second last time out. Has some speed there to keep up at least. Trainer gets the trainer's been hot the last 14 days, and you got Paco aboard this horse. And then the 7-horse won the last 2 times. You got a hot trainer the last 14 days with this horse. This horse has been on for 3 months, but you got some solid works in that 5 to put him right back in the game. And then the 7-horse, which has probably the best overlay. Ran third last time. This is third start after a layoff. Totally fits with this group, so don't turn your back on that horse too much.
The 3-horse Baron does look like the one to beat. Top last race speed figure with much better early speed through the first half mile. But I go with 9, Witty. It's all or nothing at Parx. Did so 5 times, won 3 of them. So if he's on top of its game, can absolutely get the job done here. But at 7 furlongs, been out twice, won both of those, and just absolutely smoked the competition. I think the closest horse was like 7 lengths. Twisted Ride, that 2-horse, good series of fast workouts since that last race on March the 7th. And finally, that 7-horse Prince of Rain, Charles's favorite handicapping angle, the 3rd off, filet off. Again, looking back at the last 3-race cycle, the 3rd one was by far the best of the bunch. Let's do a double, the 3 and the 9 with the 2, 3, 4, and 8 in race number 11. I think when I look back at these comments from let's see, Daily Double here, who is a Royal riding? In what race are you referring to, Jared? Daily Double 2-6 with the 7-5 for Christopher, $3 on that one. This race, Jared, what race were you referring to here? Were you referring to race number 9? Is that the one you were looking at with the 7-horse in there? The 7, yeah, Disco Evo, 7-1. I think that's what you were looking at in there. And Scary Creation saying Robert Reed training all the horses in there. So he's gonna win that one for sure. 10th does he gave him out on the 10th. All right, so which one are you looking for? Aurora in the 10th. Let's see, race 9, 10. I don't see him on any horse there, Mr. Jarrett. I'm not sure which one it's going to be. I think they're about ready to run race number 3, right? Yeah, I got about a minute to go to race number 3. Right now, let's go back to race number 3, our picks, Charles. And then again tonight, make sure you tune in for Horse Center with Jamie and Sean. Should be another fantastic show at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button, the subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on our social sites. You see them scrolling across the screen down below. A little later on today, well, Finger Lakes is opening up today. So opening day at Finger Lakes is a free day at Finger Lakes at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link in the description down below. The 5-horse in that first race, crosstalk, top pick. And of course, we're getting prepped for the Kentucky Derby, Kentucky Oaks. We did put together a special package for all the Triple Crown races, along with the Breeders' Cup. You can check that out in our ultimate package. I call it the Superfecta. Charles, do I got to call the ambulance for you? What's going on over there?
Yeah. I can't get that. Pull up the live screen right here. Oh, there we go. I've been like, what the heck's wrong with my phone?
All right, so here they go. They're loading in for the 3rd race at Parx. Let's see indeed how they travel in this particular race, my friend. In the 3rd race, it looks like right now, well, the 3-horse now, Snappy Ride has become your favorite, taking some late money over that 2-horse, Catalan. And then you have the 6-horse right in there as well, moving in stereo. So you have a trio of horses in the third race at 2-1. They're all in, it looks like. So let's pop back up here again. Race number 9. You need major league picks. I'm going to Vegas in 2 weeks. I can send you the this sheet. Scary Creations in race number 10. Uncle Ernie and 9 Witty. Love the both of them from Scary Creations. Christopher D'Souza in race number 9. He wants a daily double. 2 and 7. He's going a la Charles. Ice cold. In race number 2, they are off. Charles, that 2 horse, indeed has found its way on the lead as we predicted it would. 38% chance, especially with that Xenatown now to the sidelines. To the outside of the 2 horse is the 5 horse, which is Johnny's Little Girl, as they go through the opening quarter in a 6.5 furlong race in 23-1. 2 horses putting a little separation from it in the 5 and the 3 horse. Right now, Snappy Ride finding its way up the rail. But the jockey's asking a little bit. Michael Sanchez out of the 3 horse, getting him involved. I think he might have a tough time catching that 2 horse, but you never know because it still looks like Luis Acacio has a good hold on the 2 horse. The 1 horse is moving the best of all the others, but looks like he could get pinched a little bit. Got forced wide, kind of blew the turn right there. So this race looks like it's going to go the 2's way all the way, although the 3 horse is really coming up there. The 2 horse came out into the lane a little bit to kind of ward him off. But I think this 3 horse is going to give this horse all it can at the wire, Charles. It's a matter of the 2 can get there or not. The 3 can get, it's going to go, ooh, that's going to be close, Charles. It's either the 2 or the 3, depending on the head bob, and then the 6.
Yeah, I couldn't watch it. My thing kept on stopping half the time. So
what do you guys think? Who got that one, the 2 or the 3? I'm kind of surprised, honestly, that the 2 couldn't hold on there, considering the kind of, it didn't look like it was really being asked for much. And the jockey on the 3, Michael Sanchez, was asking for a lot of that horse the whole way around the track. So interesting to me that the 2 couldn't hold on in that spot, Charles.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the 3 got him. Scary Creation says the 3 got him. Yeah, I thought the 3 moved by him too, but I thought that the 3's head was up and the 2's head was down at the wire, which was which made it pretty interesting to me. 47-3, not the craziest fractions either. I mean, that 2 horse just died off, kind of. And let's see, where's the wire? Oof, that's going to be close.
That's close. That's very close.
The 3 definitely ran past him at the wire. I just wonder whose head was down. Now they gave it to the 3 horse. Good call on that. 3, 2, 6, and 1. J.A. says the 2 horse. No, they've already put. One thing I love about Parx, man, they don't mess around. Stuff is up on the board. Objections for the most part, except the other day we had an objection that lasted like 3 hours. But for the most part at Parx, race is done. Everything's official. Move on to the next race. I really appreciate that. The stewards, they see what they see and they say it is what it is. Let's get going, which is what we're going to do. We're going to get going to race number 11. And I better get going with some winners, or this is going to be a crappy Monday for me. 6 furlongs on the main track. This one's claiming 5,000 non-winners of 2 in a year. 6 furlongs, tactical speed, post positions 1 through 7, play fair, 36% go wire to wire, and then 8 and out, a little bit of a bonus, Charles. In this last race, in the 11th, let me fast forward over here. We do see that we have a trio of scratches are out of this race, one of which was going to be your leader, but not today.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. It probably, I mean, I seen the 3 having the lead all the way. You probably got the 8 that's going to push him a little bit, but those are not super strong numbers off of that chart, but that's how I see it. And then when it comes to simulation odds, we have the 2 horse just slightly under 2-1. We got morning line of 3-1. The 4 horse slightly over 2-1. Morning line is 6-1. And we have the 8 slightly over 5-1. And we got 10-1 morning line. That's not a bad overlay.
No, I got really strong right over here with these C-zone scores. For the 9, for the 7, those 2 should get great trips. The 8 horse, call the Popo. That one's got a little bit of an overlay and a decent C-zone score too. And with the 10 horse out, that one's going to move forward, I think, in terms of where it's going to be on the track. And let's see if that's indeed how the shape will look for that 8 horse. Call the Popo in race number 11. Pressure closer types. It doesn't need to lead. The 10 horse, I forgot to take that guy out of here. He's not in here. So let's go ahead and look at, how did I forget that, Charles? I got all the other ones in every other race, but I missed that one. So the 10 is out. So we don't have to worry about him getting the lead. That means the 3-horse, Leviosia, has a 6-point advantage over the next closest one. Expect Leviosia to be on the lead in this race. Coming home, 6-horse, Frame This in Blunt Force. That too will have the most and a pretty good edge over everybody else. As far as the combo score is concerned, Blunt Force gets the highest score in the group. The only question is, I forget if that one is scratched or not, Charles, in race number 10. Let's go back and see in race number 11, excuse me. Race number 11, Charles, take us through your final thoughts of the day. The 2 horses in the race. Good.
All right. Yeah. Well, I ended up with the 4-horse here. This horse drops in class today, has some speed. Probably not the speed to go wire to wire, but at least has some speed to keep up. He ran even last time out, so let's see what he could do in this race. The 2-horse here is my second choice. This one has that tactical speed. Probably could sit probably close to the leader, whoever that will be, probably most likely the 3. Drops in class, and Paco is aboard. The 8-horse is my third choice here. This horse drops in class. If you toss out the last one, puts him right there with everybody here. And then the 3-horse. He has some speed to go wire to wire. And there's one thing that this horse has probably in common with you. This horse has been claimed more times in the last 6 days, like you change your underwear. It's 6 for 6 out of the last 6 days.
Are we in 3rd grade, Charles? Yes, I've always wondered about your IQ, and now we know.
Yeah, you know.
Now we know. All right, so I like the 2-horse Blunt Force class dropper with Paco Lopez riding. The only question here is the distance. The horse has run 17 times, just 1 win, but 9 other times finishing 2nd, 3rd, so not all that far away from having a bunch of wins at 6 furlongs. Gavinci, the 4-horse, been facing tougher, going to carry a little bit of less weight today. Very strong sim odds and C-zone score for this group. Leviosa, the 3-horse, going to be on the lead, Charles. Loney with the 10 scratching. The only question is, can this one hold on? If it can, one of these days it's going to get to the lead and keep it. And then finally, the 8-horse, Call the Popo, going to benefit from the 10 scratching. The drop in class is going to help here. Charles copying me, just mixing his picks up a little bit to make it less conspicuous. 2, 3, 4 over to 2, 4 over to 2, 3, 4, 7, and 8 is my final trifecta of the day, Charles. Let's take a look at our picks for the entire race. And so far, yeah, been a tough start for me. Hopefully that clears up as the rest of the day goes on. Hopefully I can get back to my winning form from Saturday. Here's all of the races. Race 4 coming up. You can see the picks there. Charles, any final thoughts before we get out of here today?
Not really, but there is one thing. We were at Hawthorne last Thursday, and they have, why we were there, one of the reasons why we were there, because they have to do the takeout. They lowered their takeout of the win, place, and show bets, correct?
Yeah, the 12%, the lowest in the country, from what I understand.
Well, it came out that the first weekend that they had it there, the first week, I should say, they have found the increase of handle of over 33% of the win, place, and show, which also increased the exacta pools, the trifecta pools, and so on and so forth. So, hey, everybody, every track out there, take note, from Hawthorne.
I think the bigger tracks probably, will be a little bit nose in the air on that, but some of the smaller tracks might think about following suit.
So, it really did help the players. The players saw it and they reacted to it. I think that's a huge news that just came out this morning about all that handle.
And on top of that too, Charles, a lot of the folks that I talk to that like bet sports, they really don't understand horse racing. One of the things that a lot of them complain about is the takeout. So that's something that if you bet sports, Hawthorne, very hospitable, putting $400 million more in renovations. If you're in Chicago, make sure you check that out. If you live in Illinois, open up your account with Club Hawthorne, use the HAW50 as your code, and you'll get 50 if you bet 50. As far as the rest of the day is concerned, again, make sure you tune in for Jamie and Sean tonight. Should be another good week of guests at Horse Center. Next week, we'll be getting prepped for the Kentucky Derby. Be a long week next week, that's for sure. And then, of course, Finger Lakes is the free track today. We have the Triple Crown package over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. That wraps it up for this day. Tomorrow, Terry will be back. We'll do Parx again tomorrow. Charles will be back on Wednesday to do Keeneland, where he claims to be the king of Keeneland.
The king.
And then on Thursday, we'll probably do Keeneland again. So that's the schedule for this week. On Friday, Thomas and I are going to do Shatin. Last Saturday, this past Saturday, we did Newbury. And that last race, I wrote good luck on this one, Charles. I had the first pick won, the third pick finished second. The third pick went off at 100-1. Do you know what that exacta paid for a buck?
No.
$635 for an exacta with the two of my top three picks. So even if you boxed all four of them, the interesting thing is I put 4 picks in and Tom puts in 3 picks. If you took my top 3 picks and his top 3 picks, or you took all of 7 of our picks and you boxed them for a trifecta, I have no idea what that would cost, but that trifecta for a buck, Charles, you know how much that paid?
No.
$5,500. Unbelievable. And we both mentioned that race is wide open. So hopefully we can find some similar type payouts for Shaw Tin on Friday. And then on Saturday, we'll get back together to try to find either a high payout pick 4, pick 6, pick 5 carryover. If not, we'll just do a pick 4 at the biggest track again at Keeneland. That wraps up the thoughts of the week. We hope on this Money Monday, that I can find a few winners before this day is over, and that you have God's favor and grace to get you through the day. And of course, everything that you do ends up in our good friend Jay Marco's
winner circle.
And we will be sending that money out to you and the t-shirt out, Jay, Monday, tomorrow. Monday's a very long day for me. I won't have a chance to get to the post office, but I will put it out there, and I'll let you know that we are already working on our second handicapping contest, and you want to keep an eye out for that because we'll be sending out some free money once again. Till we get back together again, folks, I hope you have a fantastic Monday. Looking forward to joining Terry again tomorrow for Parx.
Yeah, you want to get rid of me, I know.
Yeah, I do. I can't stand that face no more. Have a fantastic day.
All right.